I can't believe you brought that up on a...
Spill it. Spill it.
That's a failure. That was a failure on... Well, kind of a failure on me.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Honest Tattooer podcast, the podcast that immerses you in the tattoo culture. I'm John Mesa, and I'm with my host, Matt Triano.
Hey.
And we have Gabe Rippley. What's up, brother?
Hello, how are you? This is great. Thank you very much for having me.
No, thank you, man. So for the people that don't know, so Gabe is the visionary behind TattooNow.com and many other projects. So why don't you introduce yourself?
All right, so I'm Gabe Rippley. I'm a computer geek, and I help tattooers visualize their opportunity, maximize it, and then use business and computers to help them get it, I guess. And that comes through with events. We do real-world events. We do online events. And yeah, I love helping. Like I said, I love helping tattooers. I love helping amplify positive tattooers, leave a positive impact on the world.
So, you know, when
if possible,
it was already maybe 2 years ago. I have this shop, and I'm a tattooer, man. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing most of the time. I'm figuring it out as this goes along. And you know, a friend recommended me to Gabe, actually. It's like, hey, he helped me a lot. And this is Jesse Smith, actually.
Yeah.
And he gave me a good recommendation. He's like, talk to him. He'll give you some good guidance. And I worked with Gabe for many months. And as somebody that I could consult and, you know, get knowledge about how to learn to run and grow your studio, because that's one of the biggest challenges I feel like for tattooers that, you know, have a shop. And dude, I just want to work with my friends. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, dude. I never thought I'd get sued, you know, for just doing my job.
Yeah.
You know, like there's risks that you take when you decide to embark in this part of the journey of, you know, that idea. I just want to work with my friends in an environment that I enjoy.
And even just for tattooers, like you are in a business yourself.
Yes.
You know, often.
Yes.
And so it's like the tattooer has their business and their intentions and their clientele, and then the shop has their thing going on, and like to try to get everybody to be in alignment, right? Like is an executive word, but like even just like jiving, I guess, or like getting or vibing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's very difficult, like, because people are just, it's easier to be ambiguous and unclear. And to your point, it's, you know, for the most part, and at least in tattooing, it's like you're creating a business, not because you want to be a business person, but because you want to like do tattoos and take money.
Yeah.
And, but it's
still
still
only that simple.
If it was only that simple,
you
know, I strive to always kind of just get it back to that simple, though. It kind of is like, you know, I mean, you want to pay attention.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, you know, but like you tattoo on people, and if you have a great experience and deliver value, then they're going to come back with their friends and their family.
Yeah.
You know, it gets way more complicated, but it doesn't have to.
It doesn't have to be, really.
Like, it's amazing how complicated it is to be that simple.
Because it's crazy, you know, within a tattoo shop, there's just like multiple businesses going on, you know, like different layers. Because like you said, the tattoo shop itself is its own entity, and then all the tattooers within it have their own little business within yourself, you know. Sometimes if you choose to be,
and it's legal in that state.
Yeah. You know? But I'm not even talking in a legal term, but even how you carry yourself, you know.
Sure.
Because that's why you can be in a shop where there's one guy that's crushing and doing tons of business, and a guy right next to him that isn't, you know. And that's because they run each other like different businesses, you know. Like this guy does all these things that, you know, promote the success of his career and business. And the other person, most of the time, they know what they're doing because they see it right next to them, but they just literally choose not to.
Yeah, and that's dangerous. Like weakest chain's only as strong as the weakest link. You don't want to have drags. But that said, we all come with different starting points. So it's like we don't all start off as genius, awesome, hardworking, brilliant people.
For sure.
We don't even get there necessarily. But the point is, like, we all have different starting points. And so it's like that it's very complicated trying to figure out, like, who to mentor and who to help. And then like who's just never going to get it and is a waste and a drag.
Yeah.
And it's, you get burned a couple times and you're like, why do I keep taking chances on this?
Yeah.
But, you know, and again, in the tattoo world, the positive impact is so awesome that, I don't know, I can't get out of it.
Well, something that I've seen, you know, in the last few years is just how much, you know, more mentoring and education is going on in tattooing, because there's a huge lack of it, you know, because so many, you know, like we talked about a couple of weeks ago, so many people that don't necessarily have experience are literally opening shops and then kind of going, but then who's learning from who? Like, it's a whole group of people just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So like being able to recognize it's like, oh man, I need some form of coaching or mentoring is huge, especially in tattooing, outside of just the artistic and craft part of it, just like the business part of being a successful tattooer. It's really hard.
You guys know Jake Meeks?
Jake Meeks.
From the Fireside Tattoo Network. So he's got a podcast and a tattoo YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Great tattooer. He's been interviewing people. So it's like, just the fact of doing this like helps you get to more brains and to more ideas. But he's also been doing, like the other businessy stuff, like a real estate, some stuff. And then, and like a real business mastermind, right? So he goes up to like Toronto and, to sit down with like, 12 other people who have businesses that have issues, and successes but it's all outside of tattooing.
Yeah.
And, so just, as we know, more and more people are, as tattooing is growing, and it's like not just, I don't want to be like stereotypical. It's not just bikers and anymore. Now there's like real, and part of it's like, or like if tattooers don't start to really understand the business, like the corporate monsters do.
Yeah.
Right. Like the only, and I know that like Joey Cap would say this, like the only reason why those corporate monsters are in here is because tattooers will work for them or spend money with them. And, but the point is, like, if tattooers don't start to or continue to evolve in their understanding of the business that they're involved with, then other people who do are going to manipulate it.
For sure. So we were talking
for the better if they spend sponsorship dollars at the conventions.
Yeah, they do. That's actually, and I think that's good for tattooing at the end of the day, because we need that outside money to push certain things, and just tattooing is huge already. And I feel like it's only getting bigger than I ever thought it would be.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Like when we started tattooing, it was like just starting to really peak then.
Yeah.
And it just exploded.
Yeah.
Exploded.
Whatever walls they existed, they were
just
way past those.
When did you guys start?
I did my first tattoo in 2006.
2006. Awesome. Okay. It was going pretty good. So it was 2006. There was already TV shows.
Miami Inc. was just starting.
Yeah, 2005 is because that was when we started our shop. It was 2005.
Yeah.
And when did you start?
I started 16 years ago already. So I feel like...
What year was that?
Oh, man. You're going to make me do math?
Dude, you already did the math.
I know this. I just count my anniversaries.
Okay.
I just count my anniversaries. So I was like, oh yeah, 16 next year.
And
17.
We're 2023, so that's...
We're not mathematicians.
Yeah, I'm a tatter. But, when I started, there was already... Miami Ink was already gone. It was doing its thing. It was already going, What's her name? Kat Von D. I don't think she had her own show yet.
That was like 2 or 3 years after that.
Yeah.
I remember we had gotten an advertising gig from Miami Ink when it was launching. And I guess this is honest, but I don't have to say name. But I had the forum, the Tattoo Now forum was like cranking. It was going, and then it was the first time that I realized that real damage could be done through a fucking forum, right? We had this guy, Taz, who was on the forum, and he answered all the questions. So this is, 2005. This is just around Miami Ink. It was like 2 years later, 2007. And so Taz would answer all the questions. And, eventually it was like, wait, like he's right like 60% of the time, but 40% of the time he's not very right. But he had more time to answer than we did. Yeah. And there was the culture thing. He had made a lot of friends, because he was answering all their questions. And flash forward a couple months, and or maybe flash forward like 6 or 8 months, and this I get a phone call, and it's this kid, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Billy or whatever. I forgot the name.
I'm Taz.
No. But he says, he's like, I'm Billy. I'm the apprentice who moved across country to apprentice under Taz."
Oh shit.
That's what I said. I said, "Oh shit, you're a real person? Like I thought you were just someone on the forum. Wait, you moved across. You never saw Taz's portfolio.
Wow.
Right? Like you never saw the portfolio." But they took a chance. Yeah. And they took a chance because of Tattoo Now. Well, not because of Tattoo Now, but like
that's where they found Taz.
That's how they found Taz. And it was like, well, where's my responsibility in that? Like I didn't fucking introduce, but like I watched it happen. Right.
And
what was really sad was the guy was like, I guess they might be watching, but whatever. But the kid got tattooed. So he was basically like, I got my fucking freehand sleeve, like, you know, like Robert Hernandez does, but Taz did it. And so he had this shitty ass fucking full on sleeve. And then, you know, so like all of a sudden it starts to, I'm like dawning on me like, oh man, like, you know, people are really introducing each other, they're finding each other, and they're moving across country, and they're not learning how to tattoo and wasting their money. And now I'm like, this kid was pretty upset.
So wait, did you personally know Taz?
No, I never saw Taz. He was a guy on the forum.
Some guy. He didn't work for you or anything.
No, he was some dude in Kansas or some like in the Midwest, you know. Like again, he was like a forum guy.
Yeah.
And but it was, you know, it was like, well, now we should probably be running Taz off of our forum because he's convincing people to move across the country and get tattooed by him.
Get tattooed by him and apprentice under him.
You know, and that turned into I guess this is all running around. So like it turns into this big mad fucking forum drama. And it was like, come on, this is a fucking forum. This is crazy.
Yo,
like,
Taz, if you're watching this, please, let's try to get you on this podcast because I would love to fucking talk to you, bro.
Then there was a mutiny, and everyone not everyone, but like half the crew went off to this other forum because with Taz. And when we were advertising for LA Inc., I finally got an advertising gig, and we put it up, and I'm selling out, right? Because it's LA Inc. And the mutiny forum was like the guy that was at it, and you all know who he is. It's funny because this is a long time later, but he was like, you're just giving them free advertising to try to stay relevant. That's what I remember.
Damn.
Isn't it funny? I remember the trolls like this. And I'm like, dude, we finally got a paycheck. But like I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to be relevant. I'm like, I'm
trying to make a business here.
I got paid this fucking.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. That was a long time ago. A lot of forum drama, like the drama shit, man. It's like,
it's refreshing to know that there were trolls back before, you know, Instagram and Twitter and all that too. Like,
oh yeah. And you know, I've always had a knack of attracting them. I don't know how or why, but
I mean, we get them too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost inevitable if you know, if you're if you're not taking flack, you're not over the target. You know, like inevitably, if you're gonna do shit, then people are gonna try to pick at you.
I feel like I appreciate a consistent troll. You know, somebody that hates all the time.
Yeah.
You know, because at least you're supporting through hate. It's like,
got that engagement.
Yeah, you're getting my engagement going. At least you're willing to banter and argue. You know,
I'm going to pull back from my discussion about the particulars of the different types of haters. I've got a exceptional amount, an unfortunate amount.
An unfortunate amount of people.
There's an array of
shit.
them, and it's best to stay focused on the positive, awesome things.
Yeah. I'm sure being a non-tattooer in the tattoo industry doesn't help either, right?
You know, it doesn't necessarily, but the thing is, the main reason why it was disadvantaged is because I can't tattoo my way out of my problem, right? So like as tattooers, if you get yourself into serious problems, okay, put my nose down, I'm gonna tattoo for $1,500 a day for fucking 90 days straight, work my way out of this shit. Everybody left me, but I could tattoo my way out of this shit. I don't tattoo, so like when all my tattooers leave me, and again, if it's a small amount or if I have to compromise a hire, I don't tattoo, right? So it's like at the end of the day, if people were walking through the door, I didn't tattoo, I didn't have a tattooer, so I would hire somebody and be like, well, he owned a tattoo shop, good enough for me.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot more than like not owning a tattoo shop anymore than to be a good tattooer.
Yeah.
So like, but as far as like, and I'm sure there are plenty of people there, like he doesn't tattoo, he doesn't, whatever. I work with plenty of tattooers who are happy to exchange, ideas and money for value and whatnot. So, and it's also not a very sophisticated, philosophy. Like you don't tattoo, so you can't contribute or you don't care. In my case, it's like I don't come from money, so it's not like I'm like coming in with this fat wad of cash and like investing, it's like I'm, hustling, working every day for my dollar to pay my bills, in awesome art that, I do love. And, so it forces me to produce the value to make it a non-issue. And so ultimately it's like, nobody that works with me, or currently works with me, has any issues that I don't tattoo. And, the fact is, as far as running businesses, it's like, it just takes a lot of work.
It does.
And if you don't love it, then you're not going to be the best at it or be great at it. And so I don't know. I guess it's weird to say that I love business and I love tattooing, but
well,
I kind of love.
I mean, from somebody that man, I love tattooing. The business part of it is the annoying part to me, you know, because I just want to do the other part. Just, you know, I loved the idea of when this started, when I literally just tattooed, got paid, and went to party. That's it. That's as simple as it was. But now, of course, you know, time passes and I have a bunch of responsibilities. I have people that rely on me upkeeping a shop and making a great environment for them. Is not just about meeting my own personal needs, you know, like those are met by me, you know, but I have to think about the whole group, you know, are we all doing okay? You know, and that's the part that's kind of challenging, you know?
The leadership part is something that I found exceptionally challenging. I mean, I probably still haven't really figured it out.
Yeah.
I don't have any employees. I work for myself, so I definitely have that.
Yeah.
But that said, you know, I'm a partner in a couple of different projects, and I definitely do. I've had to learn leadership out of necessity.
Yeah.
As a tattoo shop owner, you know, if you don't pick up the lead and lead, set the example and hold people accountable and be clear with the communication.
Yeah.
Is really the hardest part. You know, being clear with the communication, even understanding. Some people don't know their own mission and value, right? And it's like, if you don't know what you want to do and how you want to do it, then how do you explain to a team of 10 people, you know, what you want to do or how you want to do it? And again, then with a tattoo shop, it's like an entity, a separate spirit that kind of, you know, it pushes you around more than it pushes anybody else around.
Yeah, it does.
You know, it has its own thing. It's doing its thing. And you're, what I think in an executive level speech, you're like not the curator, but see, I don't know all the words. I don't know all the
kind of
words.
like the creative director.
You're the steward of the, you know, of the energies.
Yes.
And if you're not, like, if you don't understand leadership, or if you're absent in your leadership, then other people start to pick it up.
Yeah.
And you know, you have a shop with 8 people, 10 people. All of a sudden, you have 2 different leaders under, you know, that are competing.
Then you have clicks.
Yeah, clicks,
that's
and
the
it's
worst.
like, and you know, and what's really sad is it's like, wait, you know. And as a consultant, I'll talk to a lot. I'll see a lot of shops, not a lot of shops, but I'll see shops that have like awesome artists and awesome shop owners, and they're in conflict with each other, and they don't need to be. They shouldn't be. It's like
they should be. They have the same goals.
They have the same goals, and it's like, but the artists are like, you're taking advantage of me. Why am I giving you a percentage? And the shop owner is like, why the fuck am I coming back at 2:00 in the morning when the alarm's going off and the fucking plumbing's leaking?
Right. For
you to complain that like you're giving me a percentage. You fucking do this job. You know, and then the artists will leave and burn the bridges, and then they'll like, oh wait, this is difficult. Like, but you're like, well, yeah, it's difficult. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, you like, why'd you have to burn the bridge to figure that out?
Yeah.
Being a leader in general is difficult, but being a leader of 10 artists who have like crazy, just different personalities, each one is going to be a challenge in itself. But that have to do that over like the shop of 10 people or however many people. It's wild.
It is wild.
Yeah. One of the things that my wife teaches. I'm not trying to make a direct analogy. She teaches infants, which means that she teaches brains when they're the most malleable. You know, I'm not saying that tattooers are like it. But a lot of it's about, you know,
the most hard-headed people I know.
You know, a lot of a successful environment is setting the stage ahead of time, right? So it's like, you know, that's the situation that often happens. You know, a couple of awesome tattooers learn how to tattoo awesomely. They're making some money together. They end up together. Now they've got a successful, you know, $500,000 a year business together, but they have different agendas. They were friends for a while, but it's not like, you know, one person wants to do coke off a stripper's ass and one gets married and has a family.
Yeah, it has a family. They have different,
but like a best in class business would start off by saying, we are looking for tattooers who are best in class, who are going to show up at the time that's expected. They're going to produce a world-class experience for their clients every single time, no matter whether they're having an issue at home or not. They're going to leave that shit at the door, come in and be like, I'm charging you $2,500 to give you the best experience of your life, right? That's the type of tattooer that we're hiring. And if you're not that type of tattooer, maybe you want to go work at the walk-in shop or another shop. And again, I'm not saying that's the type of shop you should have. But if you're not clear that that's the type of shop that you want, then you're definitely not going to be hiring the type of tattooers at random.
Right.
And now that said, like, I don't know how many, again, everyone's opening up a tattoo shop because they don't want to work for an asshole, not because they have a vision of a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
You know, so often, and you know, that's why we see lots of businesses explode or lots of tattoo shops explode. It's like we get together, we do the shit, but it's not necessarily by design.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like, you know, for example, like, you know, I've worked in multiple shops with different kind of management structures and stuff like that. And like, for example, once we reached, you know, when No Idols was in this beginning, you know, where there was no clear leader, there was no clear owner, there's no clear like anything. when something that requires leadership, it's like
A lot of finger pointing.
yeah. How about you do it? How you do it? You know, because nobody really wants to do it. Everybody wants to stay in that like, I just want to tattoo and make some money and have a good time, bro. You know, I don't want to do all this other extra work. But then that extra work is time and effort. You know, and if you're not willing to put in that extra time and effort, then it's gonna lag and affect everybody.
Oh, well,
you know,
what did I hear about that? It's the long way is a short way.
yeah.
It's like doing all of those things is what makes it easier to work together. And at the end, you know, at the tattoo shop, like, you know, we were pretty clear, you know, after about 10 years in, you know, we were very clear about who we wanted to hire. And we had a great team of people who showed up on time and, you know, were serious about their job.
The same work ethic, you know?
The same work ethic. You know, they were nice to everybody that walked in the door. When a guest artist, you know, came to the shop, you know, people stopped and greeted them and said hi. And like we had somebody give them a little tour and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but that said, I'm never going to go after that again. Like, I don't know, maybe it's impossible. You know, like, it's like, I do think that if you're intentional about your vision and you're disciplined about how your message gets out there,
Yeah.
you can attract the right type of tattooers that'll work harmoniously with you as a shop owner.
I think that's
I swear
what it
it's
is,
possible.
You know? Yeah. Once you're with a group of people and then you have just a bunch of like-minded attitudes and minds, but then at the end of the day, you do need kind of a curator, somebody that's going to be like, yeah, you do fit in this kind of environment.
And just
and works.
watch Ted Lasso on repeat. Take all of his life lessons.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso, this is a new one for me.
Oh,
so
he's
good.
so good, so good. It's
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy, but there's so much good, just overall team building knowledge shown there. It's
Team
great.
building.
Team building, which is so important. You know,
It is.
It is so important, and it's hard. It's hard because everybody has to commit. You got to get everybody to be in. There's so many times that we like a couple of weeks ago we compared like entering tattooing, like going to the NFL.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All those guys, no matter what they do outside of playing a game, they all know that they all got to show up in their fucking game face, the best, you know, to perform to their game because they're part of a fucking team. That's it.
These are the guys on the skates.
Any sport, NFL,
Sorry.
you know, you know.
But no, I get the.
Any sport, you know, like they just know. They're like, yeah, man, like it doesn't matter what we're doing outside of our lives, and we're all fucking great. We're all rich. We're all a bunch of millionaires in here, but they know that they gotta fucking come in.
It's so funny how difficult that is for a tattoo artist to show up on time.
Yeah,
Man, when I was early on in my tattoo career, the guy who was teaching me, he would constantly tell me, and I was at this age 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there. And he'd be like, man, you're the most responsible tattooer I've ever worked with. I'm like, bro, all I do is come to work. What do you mean? Yeah.
What do you mean,
he kept saying it.
That is one of the, there's another saying somewhere like, 90% of it's like showing up to work with the tools on time.
Yeah.
You know? And again, part of it's like, it seems really simple, but I don't know why it's so difficult.
Because
that
they're
rock star
artists.
mentality.
Yeah, they're some. I think I would say that some rock star mentality, and other is like just they think like artists, man. And artists just for whatever reason don't really think like business people. It's
They're
just
free.
It's just a
do
respect
whatever they
thing.
want.
yeah,
like-
I'm free. I didn't get into this business to fucking show up on fucking time. Yo.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get like I definitely get that, and like not getting into tattooing to have a real job, but like disrespecting other people's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like letting people lag. Like
That's rock star mentality.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like if you want to really command a $1,500, $2,500 day rate, like treat that person like they literally are spending like $1,500 with you. Like you. And the thing is, you can't stay there. Like I can't tell you how many tattooers I've watched that used to charge $1,500.
Yeah.
Now they could do that 2 days a week, but like they can't do that 5 days a
All the
week
time.
just because again, because they're also irresponsible or because there's all those other weird things going on.
Shout out to Andy Foe, who's amazing,
Sick
black and gray
tattooer,
tattooer. And he's been putting out all this amazing, very inspirational content lately. It resonates with me heavily. And he made this video the other day, and he spoke about, like if you're doing, you're charging your clients like, for a day rate, and you're like, and these people are committing to you and everything. He was like, treat that relationship like, like you're in a relationship. Like be present, like be there. Like if you're gonna show up, like really show up. Give them the attention, the time, invest into it. And they will feel that. I think that's something so palpable when you connect with your client, really, and they feel like they're part of an experience, and they feel like connected not to just you, but like that's one thing that I think we do really well here, where like clients do feel that they start getting to know everybody in the shop, and they start feeling like they're part of something.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's huge. That adds so much value to their experience, because even though to us, and this is something that he reiterates in that same video, to us is just another day of work, to them is a very special day that I marked myself for the rest of my fucking life,
1,000%. They're going to remember it for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. And every little thing that happened that day adds to that experience, And I feel like that's so much, like the memory of that sometimes is more meaningful than the tattoo itself. It can overpower that.
And, how does the human mind work? You always thinking about the negative more than you're thinking about the positive.
Yeah.
So if your tattoo artist shows up a half hour late and he shows up, he's like, oh, let me just eat some of my lunch real quick. Oh, I didn't draw anything. Let me do that. And now you're sitting on the couch waiting for an hour and a half. Like, they're going to remember that negative experience before they remember how great the tattoo was.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you how many times tattooers have told me, but that's okay. I talked about it. They were cool with it. I'm like, no, they're not fucking cool with it.
They just
told
made you feel
they were cool with it, but they're not cool.
You're the person tattooing them. They don't want to piss you off.
Right.
And, shameless plug. One of the main reasons why I was excited to come down here and to talk and for the invitation is because we have the Paradise Tattoo Gathering, a full-on tattoo gathering coming up. And
I'm going to go. What made you go? It's the gathering between, instead of like convention. How would you separate the two?
Well, mostly we want to confuse everybody for decades. Right. So we've got the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. We have the Paradise Artist Retreats, the Worldwide Tattoo Conferences, inspiring tours. Sometimes I like to joke that we everyone's invited to the Paradise Artist Retreat Inspiring Tour Gathering. So we have different events, and the different events all have subtly different flavors and do different things. The Paradise Tattoo Gatherings, where we get everybody together, or not everybody, but everybody that wants to get together at the same time, where we'll have tattooing, we'll have painting, we'll have 3 different seminar rooms. We'll have an artist-only room for artist tickets, and then a stage. Now, all the programming is mostly like book TV style, right? So it's like interviews and discussion panels. We'll have a panel of tattoo shop owners who are interviewing tattooers. Do you show up on time? Like, all the right stuff. And it's basically our best effort to bring everybody together to inspire each other. There will be tattooing. It's probably going to be about 40 tattooers. And but the Tattoo Gathering is a full tattoo convention with all of the other stuff.
Okay.
As opposed to the art retreats or the worldwide conferences and some of the other events that we do.
Those are like a much smaller, tighter group.
Well,
those are more geared for the tattoo artist as opposed to like a convention would be for client, right? That's how I always interpret it.
That's how
yeah, absolutely. Almost all of the events that I focus on are for tattooers for professional development. My wife, again, like I was saying earlier, she's an infant teacher, and she really got into me, the return on the investment of education. And, now it takes a long time for infants to make money, but tattooers, you could teach tattooer, something awesome, and then they could use that to generate more income, the next week, next month. And then if they're compounding effects, all of a sudden it's tremendous. So pretty much all of the events have to do with education, but I would say that the Tattoo Gathering is the biggest one that we have, right? So we have small events like the Inspiring Tours. It's like 5 students and 2 teachers for 3 days. The retreats will be like 50-ish people. We did one out in New Mexico, actually with Joel when he was out at the Queercation out in New Mexico. Which was awesome. So it was like 50 people that were all at an event, and then. But the Tattoo Gathering will probably have like 500, 800 people out.
Wow.
Tattoo collectors will come out to get tattooed. Mostly tattooers will be tattooing other tattooers.
Right.
The collectors are more than welcome. Everybody's more than welcome. Until we sell out the hotel, everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
But that said, it's the condos get picked up by the shops, as you were talking about, team building.
Team building, yeah. It's a great, everybody goes together, learns together.
It's one of the main reasons why we do it. We don't do trust falls, but you can. No idols, trust falls on Thursday night. No. But yeah, so it's 4 days. We do it Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's 4 days, but we did it 4 days in the first year, and we continue it.
When was the first year?
2008. And it was the first tattoo gathering, because I remember Derb and Joey Cap and Brett from Pulse. We kind of drove all out. Maybe somebody else that I missed. I'm sorry, but we drove out to Jiminy Peak, and we were with my wife, of course, and my kid. But we were coming up with all the different names. Like, what do we call it? Is it a tattoo this or a tattoo that or a tattoo blah blah or a tattoo gathering?
That sounds good.
It sounds kind of hippie. Joe Cap was probably like, it's pretty hippie. But yeah, 2008, and Carson maybe was out from Numa.
Cool.
And that was great. So the first year we did 2008, and then 2009 was when like Guy came out and Bob came out and Sean Barber came out. So it really kind of picked up the second year.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I was done. I was like, there's no fucking way I'm doing this again. I almost got divorced because I was drinking too much and way too stressed. But Michelle and Guy were there, and like, wait, out in the middle of the woods, education, like everyone's chill.
It's right up their alley.
It's like right up their alley. Like this has to keep happening. And so they were basically like, could you do this painting next year? And I was like, I don't give a fuck, whatever. Yeah, sure. I mean, no, excuse me. I was like, yes, absolutely. You guys want to keep doing something again? I'll definitely do something again. Inside, I'm like, I can't fucking believe I'm doing this again. I'm going, I just went through the most stress of my life. But it was just painting.
Yeah.
And so as that event, the artist retreat started to come up, it was like, and Guy and Michelle had done like Interstate and a couple of painting things before that. So it came together pretty good. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. There's like no stress at tattooing. There's no health department. There's no bleeding people. There's no the desire to make money at a tattoo convention, again, I as a convention promoter, there's one of the weirdest things to hear a tattooer say is like, I don't want to do your convention if I can't guarantee that I make money. And I'm like, well, I understand that urge, of course.
Yeah.
You're telling that to the convention promoter. I'm not doing this convention because I'm guaranteed to make money.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm guaranteed to like maybe not make money. Like, I don't know.
I'm hoping to break even here.
Exactly, oh shit, where was I going with this? With the conventions? The art retreat. So, but as I was coming up, it was very clear, like the stress wasn't about making money in tattooing. The focus was on painting. Mm-hmm. And it was amazing. And like just the creativity of having, I think so it was the third year that we did an event. It was the first artist retreat. There was 120 painters, tattooers that were painting out. Mm-hmm. And the first day, everyone was like, what are we doing? We're not tattooing.
We're just painting over here?
Taking classes and painting stuff. Yeah, like what's going on? Second day, everyone was like, this is cool. I could kind of dig painting with everybody. Third day at like midnight, 100 painters out at Jiminy Peak. Everyone was painting. Everyone was chill. Everyone was vibing. I'm a very sciencey kind of a guy, but I was like, as I was walking around, my daughter had woken up from a nap, and we were walking around. You could feel the vibe. It was like the creative spirit was like everyone was in unison. It was 100 people painting at the same time. It was fucking great. It was the best event that I had experienced up to that point. And I was like, of course, Guy, fucking and Michelle had a clue. Yeah. They're both such awesome influences and again visionaries. They like
for sure.
See what's coming next.
No, that's awesome. I feel like that's I've been in amazing conventions that like just had the right vibe and it feels great. And then when that happens, it's like, just like when we were talking about, like that happens within a shop itself, when you have a bunch of artists that are all vibing off of each other and feeling great and everything's just right.
No.
But when you maximize that to like a freaking full event,
100 people,
100
awesome.
people, that's fucking awesome.
And I definitely blame that on Guy, or don't blame it on Guy. I credit Guy, Guy and Michelle, because again, I'm like a nerdy kind of like an antisocial, computer programmer.
Yeah.
And I have my tendencies, and again, and Guy's like very good at like amplifying them, but like, he's the guy that's got the patience to like help everybody, talk to each other and slow down and inspire each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to program shit and make shit happen. So anyway, mostly, like I said, his level of patience with people is, for as much like hype as like, he's pretty, he's Guy, like there's a lot of people that are picking at him all the time. And he's, but it's like, man, like he takes the time to talk to people.
Yeah.
Not like, you can't just email him and get an answer, but like if he's at the Empire State Show or whatever, I've watched him talk for like people. 10 minutes, for people who have disappearing ink, their ink's disappearing. And I'm like, why are you
Oh,
talking to a guy
shit.
about ink that's going to disappear? And, but I'm not his manager or nothing. Like if I'm at the gathering and like he's talking to somebody, I might be like, oh, excuse me, guy, it's time to come to your next event.
Yeah.
But we were just at the Empire State Show, so I was like, I don't give a fuck if I talks to this guy forever. And after like 10 minutes, I'm like, he's still talking. Wait, this is nuts. And then, the conversation with the sales guy was done with his pitch. And I was like, what's guy going to say to the guy who's trying to pitch him disappearing ink?
Disappearing ink.
And I had thought of all the clever things in my head to say. And guy was like, well, I'm not sure anyone would want to pay my day rate for a tattoo that would disappear.
Disappear doesn't really make a lot of
What
sense.
an answer,
does it?
right?
I was like, that's amazing. I can't even imagine. Like, it's
Simple.
amazing. So simple. It's perfect to the point.
Yeah.
And the other guy was like, well, how much is your day rate or whatever? And the guy, I don't even know what it was, but, they had a conversation about it and like the respect and the patience that guy had with him. Guy being guy, this outsider.
I mean, he was
investor
pretty much
type
telling
of-
this guy, I'll let you elevator pitch me on this right now. and see if you can come up with something that makes sense to me. And then at the end of the day, it's like, I heard your pitch, but I don't know how somebody would pay this much money for something that's not going to, last.
But in a perfectly educational kind of a
Nice
point of
way.
view,
Yeah.
So I try to strive for that. I fail, but that's where I go. Another part that of that community or of all of this energy is like reinventing. And I mean, speaking of Guy, it's sometimes I'm embarrassed. It's like, man, he is such a driving force of sharing and of inspiration. And then to watch him do that through reinventing is awesome. So every Monday, I don't know, it's probably anywhere between 20 and 40 people get together and do art nights. They're all coming out of all of the lessons are coming out of the curriculum.
Mhm.
And I don't know. Mostly, it's awesome to see people, like you said, just sharing and inspiring and really taking an effort to contribute to the tattoo world. And I don't know. Mostly, I just wanted to say thank you to Guy and all the people that are part of the reinventing because they kill it.
Yeah,
sure.
we mentioned his books a couple of times, the Reinventing the Tattoo books. Like those things are encyclopedias.
Encyclopedias of tattoo knowledge,
Oh, yeah.
And
I would say he's probably one of the first artists that I can think of that I learned from outside of the guy who taught me how to tattoo.
right. And even from like the stuff that he would put out, like it's not remotely in my style of tattooing,
No,
but I
yeah.
could still learn all that and apply it to the stuff that I want to create, And I think that's so important in tattooing, that you just don't get stuck on like, well, that's not relevant to my shit that I want to fucking do. It's like, no, dude, like you should learn this craft and as much as you can about it. And then if you choose to then specialize in one little bit of it, that's fine. That's up to you, but you should still learn your craft.
Yeah. Did he ever come out with, I think I got like the first and second edition of that book.
Well,
Is there more than that?
Now it's just evolving, right? So
Yeah.
so he moved it from the book, the one that was like the encyclopedia or
Yeah.
the college textbook.
Yeah.
And then when he brought me on, and now it's all digital.
Now it's all digital.
So people complain, they want the book, and you can get the book on like eBay for a good bazillion dollars, but he keeps he edits it, and he, as we know, tattooing changes, and so part of it's like you don't actually want a book because a book would be old like 6 months later.
Right.
Like at this point, there's new guest chapters and new guest videos that are going in. He's revising chapters.
His website was tattooeducation.com.
That's what the old one was. But now we're just sending everybody to reinventing. So it's reinventingthetattoo.com.
Okay.
And there is an Instagram that's Tattoo Education, but that website got the tattooeducation.com got. I can't believe you brought that up on a.
Spill it.
That's a failure. That was a failure on. Well, kind of a failure on me. Like he registered it. Like so, I don't know where the email went to, but 10 years later, that email went somewhere, and we didn't catch it in time.
Yeah.
Like the email didn't go to me, but it's I didn't look at the website, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at some fucking spamming Japanese fucking website. And guys are like, what happened? I'm looking at something that's weird. I'm like, fucking lost.
We lost the domain.
Tattoo education. But so anyways, reinventingthetattoo.com. And there's a bunch, there's probably like 20 different courses from all from other tattooers. And then there's the reinventing curriculum. So to your question, nope, it's an online subscription. You can get it all at once as the Reinventing the Tattoo Canon. And then there's also every Monday night you can join the evolution class, which would be you get like a set of lessons. So on Tuesday, you get like 2 videos and like, 2 or 3 other different chapters.
Yeah.
And then that Monday, the following Monday is when that lesson, the group lesson, when everyone Zooms together and is drawing together, they'll go through whatever exercise is coming from that.
And is it just Guy doing those lessons, or is there other instructors?
No. There's other instructors for sure. So there's like probably 2 years of recordings of Guy leading. Guy's currently on sabbatical. He was basically like, look, I've been doing this for 2 years every Monday. Like, I gotta get a break. I'm gonna take a break. I'm taking a sabbatical. But again, this is where it's like it's all of these things, Paradise or Reinventing, they're bigger than any one person. Everyone was like, we'll still do Mondays, So Sandy is like the main leader. She's been with Reinventing forever. But then like John Clue will come in. I think Ty McEwen's done guest lectures, I guess is or guest exercises. Bob Tyrell is doing a guest exercise. Tennille from Australia is going to do a guest exercise. Cool. And that's where it's like we can't like make a book. Yeah. It's like once a month there's like a guest exercise. It's changing. There's all this stuff going on. And so we feel bad when people are like, hey, we want the book. I've got the book. We love the book. Somebody stole my book. I want the fucking book. And we're like, go to eBay. It's like $800.
Yeah. It's nostalgic.
It's a
collector's edition.
I let Skylar borrow mine and I never got it back.
Never got it back. She has it. You're like, I just gave you. Damn.
But the Biomech Encyclopedia, now on the other hand, that does still exist, and that has it does have like some lessons in it and whatnot. But that's like, have you seen the Biomech Encyclopedia?
No. I think I have Bioorganica.
Yep. Yeah. I've got that one too. So this was the Biomech Encyclopedia. A couple of years later, guy put together. I don't know. I don't want to say the numbers, but there's probably over 100 artists in there. Fucking Berkansky, the Polish fucking.
I don't know.
Berkansky, I can't pronounce his name, but he's in it. Fucking Giger has shit in it. It's two massive volumes of bio awesomeness. Cool. And anyway, so you can't get the Reinventing book, but you can get the for probably the next couple months. They're going to be running out. The Biomech Encyclopedia exists as a real physical book.
Cool,
nice.
I was going to ask you who your favorite tattooer was, but I don't know if that's a silly question or not.
I don't think I have one favorite tattooer.
Do you have a favorite style? I mean, obviously you have styles, but how about who is one of your favorite tattooers?
You know what's a real bummer, and I'm not going to say any names right now because
fair enough.
I don't want to do that. All of my favorite tattooers, I really love their designs. I really love their composition. I really love their color palette. I've seen those tattoos healed, and they're not great.
Don't love them.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah.
One of the things I appreciate bringing it back to Guy is, I'm sure you've seen some of his recent posts where he's like showing tattoos that are 15 years old, and then what he's doing now, knowing how it heals to strengthen him up a bunch.
Man, I wasn't thinking about Guy when I did this, but I guess subconsciously as I was, because I've seen his post before about that. I just posted something that I did in 2012. And then I put it side by side with what it looks like now. I was texting the guy who had the tattoo and he showed me a picture of it.
Oh, awesome.
And it was a quad in the woods with like trees and like grassy stuff. And the quad and the trees and everything had like this weird glow of orange on it. And in 2012, that orange was bright as hell, but now it just looks like a black and gray tattoo.
It's completely gone.
Completely gone. And that post has gotten the most response, the most engagement out of anything that I posted in like a year. Because people are like, whoa.
Yeah. It's real life, bro.
It's real life.
It's real life, dude. Like, man, that's the part where like, you try to tell people certain things and they won't believe it till they see it themselves.
Yeah.
They're like, like little things like, well, the advances in pigments have really advanced. I'm like, not much, dude. I'm sorry.
You know what? I was even thinking about that because
pigment is better, but it's not like it's fucking,
I was thinking about emailing Michelle at Eternal and asking her that question. Like, is the chemical makeup of 2012 batch different than what it is now?
Right.
I mean, it's got to. I mean, but part of.
But you know what? Humans don't change, dude.
Yeah.
That's the part that, I don't care how good you make these pigments, bro. Like, at the end of the day, your body is eating at that shit. The sun is eating at that shit. All of that stuff, it's destroying the tattoo over time. And there's just things that work and things that are almost okay. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's different levels to it. Like, we know that black's the best. It's just going to be there.
But, I guess...
And it still fades.
One of the things I absolutely love about tattooing is it's such an intense set, it's an intense like experience of life, right?
Yeah.
So like what you just said, like there are lessons that like it's like the crux of the problem is how to teach somebody a lesson that they need to experience for themselves to learn before they need to experience. Like how do we teach somebody not to get a bad tattoo when part of the process most likely and often is you need to get a bad tattoo to get a good one?
How do you teach your kid to not touch fire and get burned?
It's like the
that's it. It's like, how do you teach your kid? Like, hey, see that feels hot, right? If you touch it, you're gonna get burned, dude. Yeah. Before it actually happens. I feel like, man, and it's things like that it's like, there's a younger tattooer like, this is bullshit. They're just fucking being weirdo gatekeepers. Like, like I know that my tattoo is going to heal amazing and it's going to stay looking like that forever.
One of my favorite comments it was a side-by-side carousel. There was one tattoo that I did in 2012 and one that I did in 2014. The one in 2014 was a very simple neo-trad wolf with a moon behind it. And I had a bold outline for the perimeter. And then in the fur, I had these thin lines to kind of give that texture of the fur. And the 2012 or whatever 2014 version of that, those lines were thin. I used a tight 3. And now those are big, fat fucking
like a
lines.
5.
Yeah. And people in the comments noticed that, like, oh, holy shit, like, look at how thick those lines are. And then someone said, it was like, yeah, but you can't even tell the new fine line tattooer who just started tattooing because they think, oh, well, I know how to do it.
I know how to
I
really
can put that line in to
lines.
make it stay that thin forever.
It's like,
no, you can't.
No, you can't.
You can't.
It's just not how it works. Oh, man.
So I guess the lesson for us to learn is who are the people that are trying to teach us that we're like not listening to on our way out, right? We don't have many years.
Yeah.
Because just knowing that we didn't when I was losing all my shit, I was like listening to the people in my head in the last 10 years that had told me not to do the shit that I had inadvertently done. And I was losing all my shit. I'm like, I can't even say that I didn't get warned.
Yeah.
And some of these lessons I'd already learned.
Amazing tattooers that I've seen over the years completely changed the way they tattoo. I've seen amazing tattooers. Jeff Ensminger, incredible tattooer, dude. Like one of the best fucking tattooers ever. Just fucking so technically sound, like so good from the beginning, just crushing it.
Trivia. He was my tattoo shop's very first guest artist in 2005.
Oh shit.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's wild, And it's like, this guy's so good. Did something for many, many, many years, started seeing his shit come back and be like, we got to change this up, bruh. We got to change this up. And it takes a lot of being a humble fucking artist to admit that to yourself and be like, I can't keep doing this because it is not good for the longevity of my client or me as a business, that's making this product, So it's like, man, you have to admit it to yourself. And I feel like it sucks because there's so many people getting into tattooing and they're amazing artists, they're incredible artists and they're like, look what I can do, and it's like, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
A lot of people tried it and, there's now 4 generations of people that have already learned that lesson.
That have learned it and they're changing what they do and for a reason. Like they're amazing artists too, dude. Like, why did they change? Why did they stop doing that? There's a reason.
I guess in that sense, Father Time is the best teacher.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, yes. Although not necessarily, but nature isn't necessarily fair. Life ain't fair.
No.
So absolutely, karma will normally work itself out in the wash, but not always. We all watched Game of Thrones and The Wire.
I didn't. I haven't watched either of those.
You watched that the comedy. So okay, I'll watch Ed Lasso.
Ted.
I'll watch Ted Lasso.
Definitely
The Wire.
Game of Thrones
or
The Wire.
All right.
Game of Thrones or The Wire?
The
Wire is good from start to finish.
I feel like I'd be more interested in The Wire than Game of Thrones.
Yeah, do The Wire than full.
The Wire because The Wire.
Yeah, The Wire is fucking like college.
It's really, really good. Man, good talk, guys.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good talk.
Cool.
For unscripted.
Yeah. Off the cuff. I did want to ask, how can people reach you? Just straight up. Yeah.
Why don't you? We didn't do the GPT thing.
We did not do the
GPT
GPT thing.
We'll do it after. But you could text my artificially intelligent virtual assistant at 413-666-2035. That 666 prefix was available. It's not like a signer.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you memorized that number.
It's like my business cell number.
Nice.
But if you text it and tell it that you're like a tattooer or that you're interested, then it'll have a conversation with you, and it should try to set an appointment for a free consultation with me.
That's incredible. I feel like that's the future. That is a future. I feel like, if you can get a virtual assistant that will do everything, you know?
Well, I won't do everything. I mean, come on, man.
Not yet.
It's GTP. But it does a lot.
But it will do a lot. That's what I'm saying. It's just not yet. We're in Atari version of GPT.
I know. And I'm
Like,
but I got to say, like, when we play with this afterwards, he played with it. I tried to set an appointment with him.
Yeah. It wouldn't let me do a Sunday appointment, though.
yeah.
Thankfully.
Well, guys, if you want to see this, you know, AI generated virtual assistant trial, you're going to have to tune into the Patreon because that's where it's going to be. And you'll be able to see everything that we're going to talk about. It'll be there in detail. We're going to keep going. But for now, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. We appreciate you. Make sure that you like, comment, and most of all, fucking hit that like button and push us because we're trying to give you guys all of this information because we just love fucking tattooing and we love to inspire people to want to keep doing amazing tattoos. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.